Hello everyone, my name is Ben Shube. I'm the International Missions Counselor at ETSU, and this is...
I'm Michelle Markstrom-Frisch, and I'm the Academic Credential Analyst in Undergraduate Admissions. I work with all prospective international undergraduate applicants.
Yes, so thank you for joining us today. We want to talk to you a little bit about East Tennessee State University. First, we want to, in order more or less, we want to cover just some basic information about the university and where it's located. We want to get some basic information on our colleges and schools and the kind of degree programs we offer. We want to go over some points about life on campus, including housing and things you can do for fun and socialization. Then we're going to talk to you about the admission requirements for undergraduate and graduate admissions. And then we'll wrap it up with some notes about scholarships and some final notes about what students should do after they're admitted to the university. So first, once again, this is your first slide. Welcome to ETSU. Thank you for watching. We are about a mid-sized university of around 15,000, 16,000 students. We're located in the northeast section of Tennessee in the southeastern United States. There we are, Johnson City, and the red dot there. We're within about a day's drive of larger cities such as Knoxville, Atlanta, D.C. And we have had Nashville, and we have had our international students take day trips in the past. So this is a really good, nice area we're in. And also one thing about Johnson City is it's a city of around 60,000 residents. It's a smaller city. It's not a small country town, but it's a smaller city, so it's not terribly intimidating. It's not difficult to find your way around. And also, of course, we have a very nice mountain setting, and there are a lot of things to do, such as a lot of recreational outdoor activities, such as hiking, swimming,
as well as some diverse cultural opportunities.
Yes. Okay. And here's some facts about ETSU. We celebrated our centennial 2 years ago. Student population of around 15,500 students. That's about a mid-sized university.
And that does include all levels, all academic levels at ETSU, undergraduate, graduate, doctoral. We also have a College of Medicine, College of Pharmacy, and a College of Physical Therapy.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. And also that includes our population currently of 361 international students. That's not including who comes in this year. We don't have that number yet. We got to know when they sign up. And of course, you see those stats there. Our number of majors and our average class size. That's sort of the advantage of being a university of this size. We're large enough to offer a wide array of majors and academic programs and interests and courses, but our class sizes are not so large that you're not going to be able to have one-on-one time with your professors. So the advantage of being in a smaller class. You're going to add something?
Yes, I'd just like to add that on the undergraduate level, we have a minimum number of courses that are required that all students take, and there may be a maximum of 160 students in those particular courses. But as I said, we have a minimum number of those courses. We, as Ben said, pride ourselves on our student to faculty ratio. As a student progresses through the first 2 years at ETSU, typically a student would be involved in courses with around 50 students. The courses that you would be taking initially are called General Education Core. And then as you get into your major, which would be the last 2 years, the average class size student to faculty ratio drops significantly, as been indicated, to 28 people. And the international programs, international students who have been here are pleasantly surprised at the opportunity to dialogue with faculty for a lot of reasons. They may have come from countries where dialoguing with faculty isn't the norm, or perhaps we're just classes that were so large that there was no opportunity. So that faculty-student interaction is really important for academic success.
That's probably the biggest advantage of the smaller average classes. Once you get outside of the larger general education classes, is that you can get in touch with your professors. Either before or after class, you could raise your hand in the middle of some classes and they can answer you there. Or also, of course, we actually our teachers actually are required to have several hours a week outside of class where they're available for students to come in the office and ask for help. So those are the main advantages of our university size. We have a lot of programs, but also our classes are all generally not so large that you can't get in touch with your professor. And that's of course very important for international students, especially since for many of you, English is probably not your first language. And so if you have any issues understanding your professor, you can always ask a question or go back in your notes and ask them for help with something. So we have 11 colleges and schools. So there's the College of Arts and Sciences, College of Business and Technology, Clinical and Rehabilitative Health Sciences, College of Medicine, Nursing, College of Pharmacy, Public Health. And of course, also the Honors College offers various programs of advanced study and research programs for undergraduate students. And then of course, the School of Graduate Studies, it's very popular with the international students as well. And of course you can see here we have some very nice bits of recognition. We were named the best Southeastern college by the Princeton Review in 2010. I believe again in 2012, weren't we?
We're among the top 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then also a nice bit of recognition here is the accreditation for a College of Business and Technology. Both our graduate and undergraduate business and accounting programs are accredited by the Association for the Advancement of College Schools of Business, I think it's called, AACSB, and our business college, our dean of the College of Business, Linda Garceau, is very proud of that. She'll remind you that only 5% of business schools of business programs worldwide have that accreditation at those levels. And also, of course, in some of these pieces of recognition, you'll see our College of Medicine mentioned. While our College of Medicine does have programs that international students can enter, such as the Biomedical Sciences program, our MD program only admits U.S. citizens and permanent residents. And also our College of Pharmacy only accepts U.S. citizens and permanent residents. And of course, also had a colleague from our communication department who wanted to speak briefly about our mass communication program. She was not able to make it, so I want to give a shout out for our mass communication programs, very very briefly. My colleague wanted you all to know that our mass communication program, the advantages of our program is that it prepares people for the communication side of the business world with a global perspective, with the with the knowledge that there's a global perspective to the business world, with the intention of appealing to different cultures.
And actually, some of our mass comm faculty have taught abroad in China several summers. So they're broadening the curriculum from an experiential perspective as well.
Yes, and our mass comm program teaches advertising, public relations, journalism, as well as broadcasting. Okay, so that's a little bit about our academic programs and our recognition. Of course, next we want to get into some of the things you can do for fun. We know that academics is one of the most important factors for international students. However, college isn't all about studying, is it, Michelle?
No, it's not.
I mean, you got to have fun. You got to socialize.
In the U.S., we've done research, and our research indicates that students who are involved in campus activities outside of the classroom tend to be more academically successful. And we do place an emphasis on being well-rounded. So the information Ben is going to provide will give you an opportunity to begin to think about extracurricular activities in which you could be involved.
Yeah, of course. First we have the we have our athletics programs. There are multiple sports. We have multiple sports teams. This is a common thing that U.S. college students are interested in, but also international students can enjoy the activities too. We have basketball, softball, soccer, tennis, and these are things that the students often like to attend when they're on campus to watch games. Actually get involved. Maybe they have friends on the team. And also, of course, these are cheap and easy forms of entertainment because they're on campus. They're very easy for students living on or near campus to get to, and also all regular season games are free to students if they have their student ID. Trying to make sure my hand's on camera. Their student ID. So that's one cheap and easy way to find entertainment on campus.
Right. The sports listed have recruited athletes globally, actually, for participation on these particular teams. A lot of these athletic opportunities are offered on what we call an intramural basis, meaning that any ETSU student can go and join a group of people to play soccer or tennis or basketball. So these opportunities are not limited only to those students classified as athletes.
Yes. Yes. So you can watch. You can also participate with like-minded students. And also, of course, sports are fun, but also probably the most important thing is to socialize and to connect with other students.
Absolutely.
To connect with international students and domestic students, and not just students, members of the community also. So you can take something with you as you leave, and also just enjoy your time here more. We do have multiple programs that are specifically for international students. They're here to give international students a chance to socialize and meet people and have fun. First, we have our international friendship programs. That's, of course, the International Friendship Program and the International Buccaneer Buddies Program. I want to talk about each of those individually first. First is the International Friendship Host Program. And if you sign up for this program before you enroll in the university, before you arrive, what this is that you are assigned a host, usually either a faculty member or a staff member or someone in the immediate community who lives in the area, and this your host can take you in their home and feed you and house you for the first few days of your stay here, and they can.
And I've actually hosted quite a few students through the International Friendship Program. It's a wonderful way for students to transition into Johnson City and into ETSU. As a host, I was able to make connections with students that have been maintained over probably 7 years now. So it's a wonderful connection for both the host and the student. And if you plan to apply to ETSU, I strongly encourage that you also inquire about participating in the International Friendship Program.
Yeah, and also once again it's a really good way to get adjusted once you arrive here. It's a good way to get to know the area, and also, of course, if you have a host, that's somebody you know. And so if an emergency comes up and you don't know where to turn to, that's one person you could possibly contact to get a little help, to get a little guidance. Is that right, Michelle?
Absolutely.
And then, of course, in addition to the friendship program, we have the International Buccaneer Buddies program. And this is a program where you have a group of students. You have a group of about 12 to 14 students. These are, of course, domestic students and international students. And you have domestic students who can show the international students around campus. And also, this is more than just giving tours of campus. These Buccaneer buddy groups, they also actually get together to eat. They participate in various fun events. I mean, once again, this is a really good way to socialize and meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, in addition to the Buccaneer Buddies and Friendship Program, we have more organizations geared for international students. We have the International Living Learning Community and the International Student Association. And once again, these two organizations are really good ways to are once again really good ways to socialize with students, domestic and international, because that's a really good cultural experience to not only to not only speak with students from your nation or other international students, but also to connect with students with students from the U.S. And once again, these organizations, they plan events. They often plan events in the university center where you can come by and eat and talk. They have presentations. So once again, these are really good ways to socialize. And in addition to these programs that are more established, we have organizations that are for students from specific countries or regions. For example, we have a Chinese Student Association also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, one thing to help you keep track of all the things going on, all international students at ETSU, they receive a newsletter by email that's maintained by our international student advisor, RJ, and of course these newsletters contain all the schedules, all the upcoming events for these groups, scheduled by these groups, but also any events that may interest international students. So we help you keep up with current events here and things you can attend, things you can do for fun.
And just know that being connected with one of the international groups, organizations, gives you an opportunity to learn about the other established associations on campus that are not specific to international students. Our hope is that our U.S. students will get to know you as well as you will be able to get to know students from the United States. And getting involved in other associations on campus open to all students will allow that to happen. Also, there are lots of associations that are specific to students' majors, and that's a wonderful opportunity for you to connect with students whose career goals are very similar to yours. Then there are fun groups as well. Not everything is associated with academics, so there are fun groups as well. So we encourage you to check into all of the opportunities for interaction outside of the classroom.
Yes, those are great points. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, we recognize international students do add a lot to the educational experience here. It's a big part of why we recruit international students for the university. They international students they from a more interesting and diverse environment. And of course, if U.S. students and students from this area, from in the Johnson City area around in Tennessee, if they have the experience of sharing classroom and spaces with people from all over the world, they learn a lot more. Mm-hmm. And of course, so now we talked about academics and some of the recreational activities. I want to get just briefly into the kind of housing we offer students. It is recommended that first year undergraduate students live on campus, and graduate students often find apartments in the area or some of the school assigned apartments. And we do offer on-campus housing. On-campus housing, you see some of the a list of different kinds of housing on the slide. We have traditional style. Traditional means that's a traditional sort of dorm room, and that kind of room has two students assigned to a room, and you share a bathroom with your floor, all the people on your floor in the building. Next we have suite style rooms. These are rooms where there are two students per room, but two rooms share a single bathroom. And then of course next we have various styles of apartments. First we have efficiency apartments. These are usually apartments where you have two students per room, and it has a private bathroom and a small kitchen. Usually one has a stove, a sink, cabinets, and a refrigerator. I believe the Centennial Hall has a microwave in addition. And then of course we also have if you have hotel style housing. That's where you have some rooms where there are 2 students per room and a private bathroom for the room, but no kitchen. And also, of course, we recommend you apply early for housing once you get admitted and you're committed to coming to ETSU. And also to apply for housing, you're required to put down a $100 deposit beforehand.
And the deposit actually may increase depending on the type of housing that you choose. We have a great Housing and Residence Life website that gives you an overview of the layouts of all of the different types of housing available on campus. But one key point to remember is that you cannot apply for housing until you've been admitted to ETSU. And as Ben said, applying early is extremely important. Applying early for admission to ETSU so that you can apply early for housing on campus, because housing is limited. We cannot house every student who attends ETSU.
Yes, it is. Once again, it's really important to make sure you figure out well ahead of time where you're going to stay. I actually had a student send me a message last week. A student arrived yesterday, but last a week ago the student was saying, I'm going to be here in a week. Where can I stay? What kind of housing can I have?
Mm-hmm.
And so that person was in a pretty difficult situation. So it's really important to figure out housing well ahead of time before coming.
Absolutely.
Also, once again, another note about on-campus housing. It's very highly recommended, especially for first year undergraduates. It's highly recommended to live on campus because you're closer to all the academic buildings. You feel more connected to campus, and it's a lot easier for you to reach things that you want to reach or that you need to reach on campus. For example, it's easier for you to make it to academic buildings if you wanted to meet with a professor outside of your class schedule. It's easier for you to meet with groups if you want to be involved in any of the professional groups or the international student associations we mentioned earlier. And also, of course, if you're living on campus, you don't have to worry as much about learning how to get around the city. Mm-hmm. in addition to a new campus.
And I think, in my opinion, the biggest thing is that you develop a network of friends, and that is really important to your social life as well as your academic life on campus. So one thing Ben mentioned, I'm stressing, students are not required to live on campus, and we do highly encourage students to decide to live on campus. Initially, if you want to move off campus later, that's fine, but initially just to get acclimated and develop that network of friends to make your time at ETSU much more enjoyable.
Yes, and also it does make it easier to get acclimated because in your first year, when you first arrive, you have a lot of things to keep track of. And of course, as you see on the slide, it mentions utilities, water, cable, electricity, internet, telephone. That's all taken care of for you when you pay your dorm fee, so you're not having to keep track of all these different bills or finding providers or finding someone to connect to internet. So that makes things easier as you set up. Next, Michelle wants to talk to you about the admission requirements. First, we want to talk about the undergraduate admission requirements for international students.
Yes, that's my area. I'm the person who reviews all applications for international students, and I have regular communication through email with applicants about their application processes. When I email students, I absolutely individualize my email responses based on the student's academic background and country of origin. So the admission requirements that you see in front of you are general requirements. Some of them may be applicable to you, some of them may not. And again, I will tell you exactly what I would need from you before I can make an acceptance review, make an acceptance decision. So we have two categories of international students who are degree seeking. One would be incoming freshmen. Incoming freshmen have completed secondary school but have never attended a college or university. ETSU has two applications for international students. The first one is called the regular application. This is application that any student applying to ETSU completes. And we do have an online electronic version of this application. It's at the link that's right under International Undergraduates on this screen. When a student goes into our electronic application process, an international student must choose international as the application type, because there are going to be some specific questions for you to which we need answers. So just that's point number one. Our electronic application requires that you have a credit card or a debit card to which you can charge the $35 non-refundable application fee. Our application fee is so very reasonable compared to application fees for a lot of universities. I do need for you to note, though, that the application fee is non-refundable. In fact, our application fee for U.S. students is non-refundable, so we're treating all students alike. On the regular application, there is a space for the student's email address. I definitely must have your email address, because I will send you an initial email that is specifically designed to include information for your academic background and relative to your country of origin. So please don't omit your email address. When I email you, I'm going to tell you that I need some secondary school documents. In some countries, I will need both what we call a transcript. That is a document that lists all the courses that you took while you were in secondary school and the grades or the marks that you earned. And other countries require, for actual completion of secondary school, that you take exams, and I would need exam results. We do not accept scanned and emailed documents, nor do we accept copies of any kind of academic documents. So when I email you, I'll suggest perhaps you're sending me information to access websites that would allow me to see your results if those exist in your countries, or we'll communicate about ways for you to provide to me your secondary school completion documents. For countries where English is not the primary language, or if you have not attended a U.S. high school, you would have to submit proof of English language proficiency. We have several ways that can be met. We do accept TOEFL and IELTS score reports. They must be original, sent from the testing companies to us. And as you can see, we require a 500 minimum for the paper-based TOEFL, 173 minimum for the computer-based TOEFL, and a 61 internet-based TOEFL minimum. The IELTS is a 5.5 minimum. Recently, we've added some new options for students who have taken the ACT, which is a test that is taken by a lot of U.S. students to get into college or university. And if you've made a 19 or above on the English and reading parts, we'll accept those scores in lieu of TOEFL or IELTS. If you've taken the SAT, We would require a minimum 450 critical reading, also called verbal. Again, we would need scores sent to ETSU. And then we have an additional option. The East Tennessee State University's host for an ELS language center. And we will accept from ELS level 112 English for academic purposes. And I would need original documentation of completion of that level. And please note that ELS is the designated name for language centers. We will not accept language proficiency completion from any other language center other than ELS. If by any chance a freshman applicant has taken the ACT or SAT, although we do not require those scores for admission purposes, we would ask that you have scores sent to ETSU. We will review the scores to determine whether or not an ETSU-based test needs to be administered to you once you arrive on campus, and that ETSU test is called the COMPASS exam. The COMPASS determines whether or not you need to take courses that have some extra learning support. So we do request that you have ACT or SAT scores sent to us only if you've taken the test. Again, you do not have to take either of those. All academic documents have to be original and in the language of the country in which you've completed your education. We also require that students submit official original English translations of your academic documents, which means that you would need to have a certified translator do the translations for us to accept as valid documents for review. Now, we do have a lot of international students who want to transfer to ETSU, and transfer students have completed some college or university either in another country or perhaps in the United States, or both. Transfer students must send me original transcripts from all of their university and college work, both in the original language and original English translations if applicable. And ETSU, me in particular, reviews the all of the transcripts for possible transfer credit. And ETSU is encouraging that students have transfer work to review to perhaps make your time on campus, your academic time spent here on campus, a little shorter. If you have any questions, my name and my email address are on this screen. Please do note that if you're interested in attending ETSU for a fall semester, which usually starts the end of August, that we would need all of your documents by July the 1st. If you're interested in attending ETSU for a spring semester, which normally starts the beginning of January, I'd have to have all of your documents by November the 1st.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, if you're so all international undergraduates who want to apply to UTSU, you really need to contact Michelle. She's great. She'll help you through the process. She'll tell you exactly what you need to have. Next, I want to talk a little bit about about the admission requirements for international graduate students. First, what we're going to talk to you here about, what we're going to talk about here is some very basic requirements. And there's one really big difference between graduate admission and undergraduate admission. For undergraduate admission, there's one application. You're applying as an undergraduate. But for graduate admission, you're actually applying to the individual programs. So if you wanted to if you wanted to pursue a master's in computer science, you're actually applying to the computer science program. And each individual program each program reviews a student's application documents, a student's admissions application, and because of that, each program can have different requirements. Some programs may require higher GPAs than others. Some programs may require some different documents than others. So keep that in mind. These are some general graduate school admission requirements. But to be absolutely sure you get your admissions application right, you need to be in contact with the actual program, and we can definitely direct you to the right people if you contact us. First, international graduate students must have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. I see this as regionally accredited. Of course, most of you are probably not going to be. Could have a lot of students who didn't have a bachelor's degree from an institution that's accredited in the U.S. So if you have a 4-year degree or a bachelor's degree from an institution outside the U.S., it must be an accredited institution. And also, some programs, some individual programs may also require a master's degree, such as PhD programs. And also, of course, degrees from institutions outside the U.S. they are evaluated on an individual basis. Also, of course, you have to complete the application form, which is online. We can link you to that when you contact us. And then you need official transcripts from every college or university where you've taken courses, except for any previous coursework at ETSU. For example, if you've got an ETSU bachelor's degree and you want to move on to an ETSU graduate program. But also, just like undergraduate and graduate transcripts, they must be official original documents, and they must be issued by the awarding institution and sent by the institution. And then also, all English language translations must be official original translations. So just like undergraduate, you need your original documents if they're not in English, and then also you need the English translations, official original English translations. And then also you need to submit a personal essay of 150 to 300 words describing your interest in ETSU and an ETSU program, and also the $45 non-refundable application fee. Once again, I can't stress how important it is to submit the application fee. You can do an application and send in documents, but no one's going to review your application until you pay the fee.
It is 9:37.
Yes. Okay, we got to hurry. We're close on time here. And then also, of course, this is one really important requirement. You need an undergraduate GPA of 3 on a 4.0 scale. That is a hard and fast rule. So if you have a 2.99 or a 2.97, they're not going to accept you. You got to have a 3 on a 4.0. Also, some programs may require letters of recommendation, and some programs may require GRE or GMAT or GMAT scores. And then of course, you also need to prove your language proficiency for graduate studies. And you can do this through the English language tests. You can do it by completing an ELS program. Or if you have a degree from an undergraduate degree or a previous degree from an accredited U.S. institution, that can serve as your proof of language proficiency. And of course, the TOEFL scores are 550 for the paper test, 79 for the internet test, and 213 for the computer test. And for the IELTS, we require 6.5. And then finally, you need to document that you have the sufficient financial resources to attend ETSU, and lastly, you need to obtain insurance coverage. And also, once again, applications vary by degree programs, and of course, you need to be aware of what your program requires. One really easy way to look up the individual graduate programs and program requirements is to go to etsu.edu/gradstud. It's there on the screen. And then on the left side, you can click the menu button titled Graduate Catalog. Then after that, click Current and Archive Catalogs. Then finally, click Programs A to Z. You'll see a list of all of our graduate degree programs. You can find the one you're interested in, and you can get to the program's catalog description, and that contains all the information you need, such as courses required, a brief program description, but also it has the names and contact information of program specialists and program coordinators. Program coordinators are people within the department. You can ask them about the department, about courses, research opportunities, student work opportunities, And your program specialist is the person you're going to be sending your application materials to. So that's very important. So we are getting short on time, so we need to move along.
One important point, ETSU, on both the graduate and undergraduate levels, does not require students to have their credentials evaluated by a credentialing agency. We do that in-house. If, though, you have had your credentials evaluated by a credentialing agency, we will gladly accept original documents from the agencies if you would request that they be sent to us.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Should we move on to the questions?
Yes. Of course, that's our ELS program. We need to move on to our questions, actually. First, we'll get on to the to our contact information. Okay, first we have a question. I'll read it out loud. Can you please tell about the scholarship opportunities for international students?
Well, Ben just passed a screen. I'm going to ask him to go back to it. We had, probably 3 or 4 years ago, we instituted a scholarship only for international students who would be F1 or J1 students. And this scholarship covers 50% of tuition only, which is a significant savings in tuition for students. Undergraduate students may have a maximum of 8 semesters of this particular scholarship, must be full-time and must be degree seeking. The students must be new to the university. There are application deadlines for the scholarships. June the 1st for fall, October the 1st for spring semester. You do not have to be admitted to ETSU to apply for the scholarship. You do, though, have to have submitted an application. So I tell students as soon as they've applied to ETSU to apply for the scholarship and have the scholarship applications submitted, so when students are admitted, their scholarship applications can be reviewed and the committee can decide on a scholarship award.
Okay, and also for graduate students, many, of course, not everyone's guaranteed one of these, but many of our graduate students, including international students, they obtain what are called tuition scholarships or graduate assistantships. These are only for graduate students, and what these are work arrangements. And the student does work usually work that is relevant to their area of study, and in exchange for doing the work, the student receives a full tuition waiver for tuition scholarships, and some graduate assistantships include a stipend as well.
Right.
So once you're sorry.
Next.
Okay.
We've got several. Okay, our question is whether or not ETSU has a PhD in biology. We do not have a PhD in biology. We do, though, through our medical school, have a PhD in biomedical sciences. So if that's an area of interest, you would need to apply to our College of Medicine. That's a separate application from from undergraduate admissions or from graduate studies. And the ETSU College of Medicine has a very user-friendly website. There's a question about a program, and I'm thinking that the student is asking if perhaps we have any opportunities for a student to obtain a degree here for no cost to the student. No, we do not have any of those opportunities. There will always be expenses involved with completing a program. There are Any scholarships that we have, or graduate assistantships, tuition scholarships, would not pay for books. You have housing costs to consider, personal expenses to consider. No, and in essence, we do not have an opportunity for a free education at ETSU. Graduate degree in civil engineering, student is from Pakistan. We don't have engineering degrees on ETSU's campus. We have an undergraduate major in engineering technology. So we wouldn't be able to accommodate anyone who's interested in pursuing any engineering degrees. The other part of the question was, could the student get financial support from the university? The only financial support we could offer would be the International Students Academic Merit Scholarship, which we've discussed, or on the graduate level, a student could apply for a graduate assistantship or a tuition scholar position. Just need to reiterate that would not completely, none of those would completely cover cost associated with coming to ETSU.
Yes. And also, of course, the student mentioned, can you get it after getting admission but before coming? It's very important to complete your admissions application before you apply for scholarships. This question asks.
Yeah, go ahead.
This question asks if we have a department. If we have a department of that relates to study of oil and gas fields development.
No, we do not. It appears that this student, who is from Russia, will be completing a bachelor's degree and is interested in either a second bachelor's degree or a master's degree. ETSU, unfortunately, has nothing related to oil and gas fields development. Okay, we have a question from a student who is interested in nursing. And I'm very glad this student posted this question, because it's important for students who are undergraduates looking at any medical related program on ETSU's campus to know that all international students may apply to ETSU for admission. When you're admitted to ETSU, you are admitted to pursue any major in which you're interested. There are medically related majors on the undergraduate level. Nursing is one. The others are in allied health, and they offer 4-year degrees in radiography, dental hygiene, and cardiopulmonary science, which is respiratory therapy. The students admitted to ETSU to pursue these majors must complete some specific courses that are crucial to their foundation courses for all of those medically related majors. And then the student must, after about 3 semesters at ETSU, apply for admission to the specific program. So a student who applies for nursing would be considered pre-nursing. The student would have to complete prerequisite courses and then actually apply to be considered for the nursing program. The same with radiography, dental hygiene, and cardiopulmonary science. So we do think it's very important that you know that admission to the programs are very competitive. Getting admitted to ETSU means that you have to meet our basic admission requirements, but then each program has a separate process to be admitted to the program and to go into what we call the clinical courses. While at ETSU, if you're interested or if you're pursuing one of these medical areas, you would need to make excellent grades because your academic records are a major part of consideration for actual admission to the programs. So the requirements to get into ETSU I covered for the undergraduates, Ben covered for graduate students, but then again there are separate requirements to be admitted to the individual medically related programs.
Also, if you're a graduate student, of course, when you ask these questions, it's important to know if you're wanting to study you want to study at the undergraduate or graduate level. If you're a graduate student, we have multiple nursing programs at the graduate level, and it's important to know which program you might be interested in because different ones would have different admissions requirements.
Okay, we have a question from Algeria. A person has a master's degree in biotechnology and is interested in knowing whether or not we have sponsors who would help the student pursue an advanced degree, a PhD. ETSU does not have sponsors. In fact, I cannot tell you where any agencies that offer the opportunity of sponsors to attend ETSU. Sponsors typically are individuals who will provide some or all financial support to attend ETSU, and we don't have that opportunity through our university, not on any degree level. So we do hope that you are able to find sponsors so that you can pursue your PhD at some point in the future. All right. We have lots of interest in scholarships, and we have talked about scholarships in answering several other questions, but one important part of the question that we just received was about financial aid. The United States has financial aid for students, but it's only for students who are U.S. citizens or who are permanent residents, actually hold a permanent resident card. So international students are not eligible for any sources of federal aid that exist in the United States. And we have a question from El Salvador. Well, good morning.
Yeah. Greetings to you too.
Greetings. Okay, Joel is in the 10th grade in India and would like to do 11th and 12th grade in the U.S. And is asking which would be the best undergraduate schools offering 11th and 12th grades. On the university college level in the United States, we do not offer 11th and 12th grades. Those are actually offered through our high schools, same thing as your secondary school. We do, though, have lots of high schools in the United States that accept international students. In fact, we have 2 in Johnson City, where ETSU is located. One is Science Hill High School. The other is University School, which actually is located on ETSU's campus. So you could inquire at either of those schools about attending those schools for your 11th and 12th grade as an international student. We have another question about electrical or computer engineering. We do not have engineering programs. At ETSU, we do have a computing department and have master's degrees in computer science, we do have also a master's degree in mathematics, but again, nothing related to engineering.
We do have a master's in engineering technology, but that's different from engineering. So there's no electrical engineering, traditional engineering program here. More engineering question.
The GPA, there was a question about the GPA requirement in electrical engineering, math, or computer engineering. And basically, the grade point average requirement was a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, which may not be the grading scale that is used in your country. ETSU would convert your scores to our scale. But there are some programs that are competitive, and the GPA may need to be higher to compete with those who have also applied for the program.
Okay. We have time for one more question.
Okay. Yeah. We have a question from Liberia about the cost at ETSU. Ben just pulled up a screen for you. And for the 2013-2014 academic year, you can see that if a person is paying full tuition, on the undergraduate level, a person would need to have the financial support of almost $38,000 for 1 year, and on the international graduate level, about $36,500 for 1 academic year. We do not have scholarships that cover all expenses. So again, any student coming to ETSU would have to be financially prepared to pay for any part of tuition or books, housing, miscellaneous expenses.
Okay, so we're pretty much out of time. If we didn't get to your question, if you have any additional questions, please contact us. Especially if you're an undergraduate student seeking help with the admissions application, definitely contact Michelle. So there are addresses there. Thank you again for watching, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thanks a lot.